That Tuesday, everything went wrong from the very start. First, the coffee maker broke. Then I got stuck in traffic, and at work problems piled up with another project. By 6 in the evening, my head was buzzing like a transformer station. "Ben, are you staying late today?" my boss Mike asked, peering into my office. "No, sorry. I have family matters," I lied, packing papers into my briefcase. In reality, I just wanted to get home to some peace and quiet as soon as possible. On the way, I bought pizza. I had no energy to cook. My wife, Sarah, was on a business trip in Chicago, so I could allow myself to break the diet she'd been trying to impose on me for the past 6 months. Parking at home, I noticed an unfamiliar car. My mother-in-law's silver Lexus. Damn. Completely forgot that Eva was planning to come help with renovating the guest room. "Ben, is that you?" Her voice came from the living room as soon as I opened the door. "Yes, hi, Eva." I put the pizza on the kitchen table. "Didn't expect to see you so early. Decided to come earlier, start with the wallpaper, you don't mind?" I did mind. Eva was a difficult person, to put it mildly. At 50, she looked 40 at most, did yoga, and constantly gave unsolicited advice, especially about my lifestyle. "Of course not." I lied again, loosening my tie. "Just not in shape for renovation today." "Oh, I can see that." She appeared in the doorway, wiping her hands with a towel. "You look terrible." I snorted. Typical Eva, always saying what she thinks, not caring about others' feelings. "Thanks for the compliment." "It's not a compliment, it's a fact. Your shoulders are like stone." She came closer. "And your neck is all tense. Sarah mentioned you've been working too much." "Sarah says a lot of things," I muttered, taking out paper plates. "She worries about you, and honestly, so do I." I looked at her in surprise. In 5 years of knowing each other, Eva had never said anything resembling care. "Really?" "Of course. You're the father of my future grandchild. When are you two finally going to work on that?" "Ah, there it was. I should have guessed." "Eva, I don't want to discuss—" I know, it's not my business." She raised her hands in a conciliatory gesture. "Just, you're so tense. It affects everything." I noticed oil stains on her t-shirt. "What's that?" "Oh, massage oil. Trying to work out my shoulders. Been putting up wallpaper all day, my back's a bit sore." "And how's that working out?" "Not great," she grimaced. "Hard to massage yourself." I don't know what came over me. Maybe fatigue dulled my self-preservation instinct. "I could help." The words escaped before I could think them through. Eva froze with the towel in her hands. "Really?" "Well, yeah, I took massage courses once. Long time ago, though." "That would be nice of you." We looked at each other awkwardly. Something changed in the air, a strange tension appeared. "Then maybe—" She nodded toward the living room. "Yes, of course." I followed her, feeling my heart beginning to beat a bit faster. The pizza was left to cool in the kitchen, along with my common sense. The living room smelled of vanilla and something floral, presumably from the massage oil. Eva settled on the couch, taking off her t-shirt and remaining in a sports bra. "Don't look so scared," she smirked. "I don't bite." "I'm not scared," I lied, flexing my fingers. "Just haven't practiced in a while." "Relax, Ben. It's just a massage." "Just a massage." "Right." I took the bottle of oil. Lavender and ylang-ylang. My hands were shaking slightly. "Maybe put on some music," I suggested, trying to stall for time. "No, silence is better." Eva gathered her hair in a high ponytail. "Will you start?" I dropped some oil on my palms, warmed it up, and carefully placed my hands on her shoulders. Her skin was warm and surprisingly soft. She leaned slightly into the touch. "You have strong hands." I began slowly kneading her shoulders, feeling the knots of tension under the skin. Gradually, Eva relaxed, her breathing becoming deeper. "Right here." She pointed to a spot between her shoulder blades. "It hurts especially." I pressed harder with circular motions. She moaned softly. "Sorry, does it hurt?" "No, feels very good." The oil's aroma was becoming more intense, filling the room with a thick, intoxicating scent. Or maybe it was her own scent, warm skin and light sweat. "You know," Ava spoke in an unexpectedly soft voice. I always thought Sarah was too strict with you. How so? These diets, constant criticism of your work. She rolled her shoulder, and my fingers slid lower to her lower back. You deserve better. She just cares about me. Or tries to control you, like her father. I froze. What does her father have to do with this? He was the same way. Everything had to be by his rules. Ava turned her head slightly. That's why I left him. Her face was very close. I could see golden specks in her brown eyes, a light sprinkling of freckles on her nose. Ava, shh. She covered my hand with hers. Continue, please. My fingers resumed their movement, but something had changed. Every touch now felt more intimate. I could feel her skin getting goosebumps. Ben, her voice became husky. Have you ever thought— No, I answered sharply, though she hadn't finished the question. You're lying. She slowly turned around, looking into my eyes. I've seen how you look at me sometimes, when you think no one notices. I'm not. Her fingers touched my lips, interrupting my objections. The touch burned like an electric shock. No words, she whispered. Just feel. The oil on my hands made the touches slippery, almost weightless. Each movement brought us closer to a line we shouldn't cross. This is wrong, I breathed, but my hands continued wandering over her body. And what's right? She arched toward me. Living by others' rules? Denying what you feel? The lavender scent was making my head spin. Or was it dizziness from the closeness, from the realization of what was about to happen? Sarah's not here now. Her lips were a millimeter from mine. There's only us. Only this moment. The final boundary collapsed like a house of cards. Reality dissolved in the scent of oil, in the rustle of clothes, in ragged breathing. Somewhere on the edge of consciousness, a phone displayed a message. But it was too late to stop. Too late. I woke up to the sound of the coffee machine. For several seconds I lay there trying to figure out where I was. The living room couch. A blanket someone had thoughtfully covered me with. The scent of lavender ingrained in my skin. Damn it. Good morning. Ava's voice from the kitchen sounded ordinary, as if nothing had happened. Want coffee? I sat up, wincing from a headache. An empty massage oil bottle stood on the coffee table. The t-shirt lay on the floor. What time is it? 7:30. You need to get ready for work. I stood up, avoiding looking toward the kitchen. My body ached, reminding me of yesterday's madness. Ava, we need to talk. About what? She appeared in the doorway with 2 cups of coffee. Domestic, in a silk robe, with damp hair after a shower. About how wrong this was? Or about how good it was? It was a mistake. Really? I don't think you felt that way yesterday. She held out a cup. Especially when— Stop! I raised my hand. Let's not recall the details. Why? Afraid you'll want to repeat it? I looked at her. Really looked. Without makeup, she looked younger and more vulnerable. Ava, this isn't a game. Sarah returns in 3 days. She took a sip of coffee. We have time to think. What's there to think about? We betrayed her trust. We gave in to feelings. Those are different things. Feelings? I laughed bitterly. It was lust, nothing more. Are you sure? She came closer, smelling of shampoo and something floral. Then why are you trembling? I stepped back. I need a shower. And to get to work. Of course, she smiled. Just don't use my shower gel. The scent will stay on you. Sarah might recognize it. Those words made me feel sick. In the shower, I stood under hot streams for a long time, trying to wash away the scent of lavender and guilt. It didn't help. The phone showed 3 missed calls from Sarah and a message. Honey, the conference will end early. I'll be back tomorrow evening. Miss you. Tomorrow. Damn. When I came out of the shower, Ava was gone. Just a note on the kitchen table. Went to get new wallpaper. Back after lunch. Maybe repeat the massage? At work, I couldn't concentrate. Images from last night kept flashing before my eyes. Touches slippery with oil, ragged breathing, quiet moans. Ben, are you okay? Mike's voice pulled me from my memories. You look pale. Yeah, just didn't sleep well. Had a wild night? He winked. If he only knew. At lunch, a message came from Eva. Bought new oil, sandalwood and bergamot. They say it's very relaxing. I didn't respond, but my hands treacherously trembled. By evening, I decided to spend the night in a hotel, just to avoid temptation. But when I drove up to the house to get my things, Ava was already waiting on the porch. Don't even think about running away. She blocked the path to the door. We need to talk. We need to forget. Too late. She put her hand on my chest. I can't forget anymore, and neither can you. Her touch burned even through my shirt. Ava, please. Please what? She moved closer. To stop? Or to continue? At that moment, the phone rang. Sarah's photo lit up on the screen. Reality crashed down like an ice shower. Hi, darling. My voice sounded unnaturally cheerful. Ava kept standing close. Too close. Honey, are you home? I hear some noise. Yes, just got in. I stepped back from Eva. Your mom's helping with the renovation, remember? Oh, is Mom there? Put her on. Ava shook her head, her eyes gleaming in the twilight. She's in the bathroom, I lied. Painting the ceiling. Okay, I'll call her later. Can you believe it? I'll be home tomorrow at 6 already. Great. I swallowed. Looking forward to it. You don't sound very happy. Is everything okay? Just tired, lots of work. Poor baby. Her voice was full of care. Is Mom at least feeding you properly? Ava silently laughed, running her finger across my chest. Yes, she's taking care of me. Good. Love you. Love you too. I hung up feeling like the worst scum. Lying to your wife isn't nice, Eva purred, pressing against me. Especially about the bathroom. Stop! I caught her hand. This has to end. Has it ended already? She reached for my lips. I think it's just beginning. Her kiss was insistent, tasting of coffee and lipstick. I responded, hating myself for the weakness. No, I pulled away first. Sarah's coming back tomorrow, so we have one more night. Are you crazy? Yes, she whispered in my ear. Since the moment you touched me yesterday. Her hand slid under my shirt. Her fingers were cool. Eva. We can't. We can. She unbuttoned the first button. We very much can. The house was dark and quiet. Only the clock ticked on the wall and neighbors' air conditioners hummed. What if someone sees? My last argument sounded pathetic. All the curtains are drawn. She unbuttoned the second button. I took care of everything. You planned this. Let's say, I hoped. Her lip slid down my neck, and the last remnants of resistance melted like smoke. Later, lying in bed, I stared at the ceiling and thought about tomorrow. About how I would look into Sarah's eyes. How I would kiss her, knowing that an hour ago I was kissing her mother. What are you thinking about? Eva traced a finger across my chest. About what a scoundrel I am. No, she propped herself up on an elbow. You're just human, with your own desires and weaknesses. Is that supposed to comfort me? It's supposed to help you accept yourself. She kissed my shoulder. And what's between us? There's nothing between us. Really? Her hand slid lower. I think there is. Quite a lot, actually. The phone rang again. This time a text message ping. Don't look, Eva whispered. Stay with me. I reached for the nightstand. The message was from Sarah. Bought you an awesome gift. You'll be shocked. Oh yes, darling. I'm already shocked. And this is just the beginning. Go shower. Eva stood up, wrapping herself in a sheet. I'll make dinner. Don't bother. I should. We need energy. She winked. The night is long. I watched her leave the room, thinking about how tomorrow my life would change forever. The only question was how exactly. In the bathroom, I stared at my reflection in the mirror for a long time. Who was this person? I didn't recognize him anymore. The day of Sarah's return began with a thunderstorm. I woke up to a clap of thunder and didn't immediately realize where I was. Ava was breathing softly beside me, her arm thrown over me. Damn! I sat up abruptly. What time is it? 7, she mumbled, stretching. Relax, we still have time. No, no time. I started gathering scattered clothes. Sarah arrives at 6. Exactly, at 6. We have the whole day ahead. Ava, stop. This is the end. She sat up in bed. The end? You can't be serious. I am. We need to clean everything, air out the house, and pretend nothing happened? She snorted. Good luck with that. At that moment, the phone rang. Sarah's number. Good morning, honey. I'm at the airport already. At the airport? I went cold. You said evening. Decided to make a surprise. I'll be there in 3 hours. I looked at Ava. She had heard everything and was now smiling some strange smile. That's great, I managed. Can't wait. Is Mom still with us? Don't tell her I'm coming. I want to surprise her. Of course I won't tell. After ending the call, I panically surveyed the bedroom. Everything reeked of intimacy and massage oil. Calm down. Ava stood up and stretched. I know what to do. Really? And what's that? First, take a shower. I'll handle the house. An hour later, the apartment smelled of fresh baking and cleaning solution. Eva moved through the house like a professional cleaner, erasing all traces of our sin. You've clearly done this before, I remarked. Implying something? No, just thinking I regularly seduce other men? She stopped in front of me. You're a special case, Ben. Very special. Her eyes were shining strangely. Wet. Eva, are you crying? No, it's from the cleaning solution. She turned away. Go check the laundry. Suddenly, there was a knock at the door. We froze. Are you expecting someone? I whispered. No, are you? The knock repeated. Then a doorbell. Ben? Are you home? It's Mrs. Johnson. The neighbor. The damn nosy neighbor. Just a minute, I called out, looking around frantically. I saw you come back yesterday, and the lights were on all night. Ava darted into the bathroom. I straightened my shirt and opened the door. Good morning, Mrs. Johnson. Good morning. Oh. She peered over my shoulder. I thought you were alone. I heard a woman's voice. That's my mother-in-law, helping with renovations. Really? I thought it was a different woman. She lowered her voice. The bedroom light was on, and all the curtains drawn. Did you need something? I interrupted. Yes. Your package came to me by mistake. She held out a small box. From Sarah, judging by the return address. Thanks. You're welcome. And say hi to your mother-in-law. I closed the door and leaned against it. Ava came out of the bathroom. She knows, I whispered. Suspects, that's different. What's the difference? She'll tell Sarah everything. She won't. Ava took the box from my hands. Mrs. Johnson has her own skeletons in the closet. I'll take care of it. What do you mean? She didn't answer, tearing open the package. Inside was a small box and a note. Don't you dare. I tried to grab the box. Too late. Ava was already reading. Oh, God. What is it? She silently handed me the note. Sarah's handwriting danced before my eyes. Darling, remember we talked about children? Well, the test is positive. We're going to be parents. This is your main gift. Love you. P.S. And in the box is something for variety in the bedroom. Also a surprise. I slowly sank to the floor. In the box lay a bottle of massage oil, with the scent of lavender. She's pregnant. My voice sounded hollow as if from a well. Pregnant? Ava stood motionless, still holding the box. I need to tell you something. Now's not the time. No, it's exactly the time. She put down the box and sat next to me on the floor. Sarah can't have children. I turned to her sharply. What? She has problems since childhood. She'll never be able to get pregnant naturally. How do you... I'm her mother, Ben. I took her to doctors since she was 13. The world started spinning around me. But then, how? IVF. Ava stared at the floor. She started treatments 3 months ago. Didn't tell you, afraid of failure. 3 months. I tried to process the information. But why did she hide it? Because she used donor sperm. The silence rang in my ears. What? She was afraid you'd refuse. That you wouldn't accept someone else's child. I jumped to my feet. And you knew? Knew all this time? Yes. And still. I choked with rage. You did this on purpose? Decided to get revenge on her? No! Ava stood up too. I just... I saw you that evening, so tired, so kind. You offered help even though I'd always been terrible to you, and something just clicked. Clicked? I laughed hysterically. Seriously? You slept with your daughter's husband because something clicked? I fell in love with you, you idiot! She was almost shouting. From the first day you started dating, why do you think I was so harsh? Trying to keep my distance. I looked at her, not recognizing her. A 50-year-old woman, my wife's mother, confessing her love to me in the middle of a living room that smelled of cleaning solution and betrayal. This is madness, I muttered. Yes, she stepped closer. But there's sense in this madness. Think, she lied to you. Used a donor behind your back. She doesn't trust you. And you? I love you, for real. At that moment, a key turned in the front door lock. Surprise! Sarah's voice rang like a death knell. She entered radiant with a suitcase, froze, looking at us. What's going on? Why are you both so pale? Her gaze fell on the opened package, on the box with the oil. Oh no, she pressed her hands to her stomach. You already know. I wanted to tell you myself. We know, Eva replied quietly. Everything. About the IVF. About the donor. Sarah's face turned ashen. Mom, you shouldn't have... I'm sorry, dear, but truth always comes out. I looked at them both. Mother and daughter, two women who had committed terrible acts for such different reasons. Ben, Sarah stepped toward me. I was going to tell you, I was just afraid. And I slept with your mother. The words hung in the air like an executioner's axe. Sarah blinked. What? Yesterday? And the day before? I spoke mechanically, staring at one point. On this couch, in our bed. Ben! Ava grabbed my arm. Get off. I shook off her hand. Enough lies. All cards on the table. Sarah slowly sank to the floor. Her hand was still on her stomach. Mom? Her voice was childlike, frightened. Tell me it's not true. I love him, Ava simply replied. Silence. Only the clock ticked on the wall. You love him, Sarah repeated. And I'm carrying a child from a donor because I was afraid to tell my husband the truth. She started laughing, quietly at first, then louder. The hysterical laughter turned into sobs. We're all, she choked through tears, all so broken. I sat down next to her. Not hugging, just sat. You know what's funniest? She looked at me with puffy eyes. I chose a donor who looked like you. Same eyes, same height. Sarah? No, wait. I need to finish. She wiped her tears. I was so afraid of losing you. Thought if I couldn't have your child, you'd leave. But you left anyway. To her. I didn't leave. No, she laughed bitterly. I think you left the moment you first touched her. Eva was crying silently by the wall. What do we do now? Sarah asked. I don't know, I answered honestly. Really don't know. I can leave, Eva said quietly. Forever. And I can get an abortion. Sarah stroked her belly. Start over. No. I stood up. Nobody's leaving, and no abortions. They both stared at me. We all screwed up. I started pacing the room. All betrayed each other. But this child, it's innocent in all this. And what are you suggesting? Ava asked. I suggest we all go to a damn therapist and deal with this shit like adults. Sarah smiled weakly. You're really ready to raise someone else's child? After everything? It's not someone else's. I crouched in front of her. You're its mother. That's enough. And me? Ava's voice trembled. And you'll be a grandmother. Just a grandmother. Nothing more. She nodded, covering her face with her hands. And one more thing. I looked at them both. No more massage oil in this house. Ever. Sarah giggled hysterically. Then Ava. Then we all laughed like madmen in the middle of the living room that smelled of cleaning solution and broken hopes. They say truth heals. But sometimes it's like strong medicine. It hurts more at first to feel better later. We have a long road ahead. Therapy, reconciliation, forgiveness. But most importantly, no more lies. Outside, thunder rumbled again. A storm began, washing away old sins and opening the road to a new beginning. Or an end. Time will tell. Did you like this story? Let us know in the comments what you liked. Subscribe to our storytelling podcast. Also, don't forget to like and ring the bell so you don't miss more interesting stories. See you soon.